Good evening and welcome to another featured night of Poetry Africa. Tonight we are bringing you new voices. Well, during the apartheid times of South Africa, new voices, they have been sort of like a cornerstone of society, and they were just tongue lashing. I like using the term tongue lashing because of the youth is resilient, the youth is courageous, and when their voices have been heard, that's when they turn lash. Thobela ke nna mo Afrika wa ga mokgati a mahwiti a mosipi a masoela a tlhaba ngwana ka ke dia seale kgalemetše ya rowa ya topagatodi ya maoro ke nna setlogolo sa ngwako wa go ja dinonyana ditlhwafa bašimanyana kgaitšedi ya masogana le makgarebe se phološa dikwata ke nna setlogolo sa modiba mmalofokana wa go tshwana marawa maolo ba re mo Afrika ro kwele o ikana tau o ikana kwena o nyaka eng ka dikubung ka re pelo ya ka e thupilwe sengu mvubu ke lebetse ka kiba ya gesho sengu mvubu makasane mkasela silo samanzi. And it's only when the youth can really go back to understand where they are going, right? Show some love, whichever platform we are watching. Show us some love by, liking the broadcast. Keep on sharing, your thoughts. We like it when you quote the poets, just to emphasize their words. I mean, it takes quite a long time for one to pen down and, to have the courage to share it. So we are special for the poets tonight to be sharing their work with us. Tonight, the first poet to come through, it is the 2019 Poetry Africa Slam competition winner, right? His name is Tory Saint. He's a poet based in Durban. He's an actor, a dancer. So with all of this multifaceted art and caps that he wears, tonight he's with us, ladies and gentlemen. Show some love. Because of You Are Within. Tory Saint, he has planned, the setup and everything. I love it. Take it away. Tory Saint, please unmute and bless us. Please unmute and bless us. Unmute with that beautiful setup. It's like, you are dangling the words. There we go.
Stuck in a desolate land where fear is his closest companion. He's shivering in broad daylight and going to bed just as cold, hoping for something to hold him together. Everything is falling apart, including his art, and he doesn't know what else will keep him sane. His mind leads him to a place filled with vultures that eat away anything with life and leave the rest to decay. It all seems safe until it shows its teeth. And then you die at the hands of a lover. Find yourself at the mercy of the law. Don't feel safe around your own brother. A heart harboring hatred can turn a friend into a foe. Hallowed be thy name when you don't know who else to call for. Stuck in a desolate land where fear is his closest companion. He's shivering in broad daylight and going to bed just as cold, hoping for something to hold him together. He's not okay. You can tell by the way he talks, his tongue refuses to speak, his eyes are sunken in, clenching his fist, holding on to what's left of this gift. Too many a times we turn into ourselves to make room for things that are made of glass. They shatter at first touch, leaving us a million shards of red. You can tell The years he's bled, he has splinters on his feet from trying to move a whale while falling apart. Every step digs him into an early grave, his hands hovering above, balancing a body begging to be laid to rest. What homes do we make of things that resembles heaven, and how do we take them with us when we die? Spirit leaves and leads him to a place of deep awakening, and amidst the breaking and the aching and everything else that finds us worthy of the pain it inflicted, still insists that he sings and plays his guitar, hoping that something or someone will recognize his song in this desolate land of the living dead, not by choice where they slayed and brought here, but this is now where they lay, singing songs of fire in the dead of the night, while the sun shines light on their otherness, the part of themselves they had to cleanse in order to survive. The rain washes them, and once again heart finds alignment with the mind and rises with the sun. After being stuck in the dark for what feels like an age, they begin to welcome the morning as a new, and like everything else that grows amid mountains that never peak, these sages will soon learn that these valleys carry them with to new height. History will repeat, but it will meet an ancestral lineage that has learned that the days behind are nothing compared to the glory that is yet to come for those who choose to set their eyes on the sun and refuse to listen to the mindless chatter that succumbs at deserted men, their tongues cast on the earth to make men speak ill of himself. These things we are made without our knowledge still cannot erase what is written on Stonehenge. Remember your name. Even when you can no longer hear it in the mouth of your neighbor, it carries the weight twice the size of your burden. It is both your armor and weapon. So why do you say like you lost all its meaning? I've seen way too many people fall on their sword to ever succumb to the mindless chatter that finds a deserted men, and when it gets cold again, remember that the ice age eventually thawed. So make your way home, pick some corn, cut it clean, and save it for the day you dream in yellow again under trees that hold the shade with clarity, laughing with friends that know what humor is to the soul, thinking about all the ones that love you at home and what your happiness means to them. You will feel your heart begin to uncoil and push against the stream of gleam, and perhaps even feel life sipping in this deserted land of the living dead, where nothing seems to hold you home. And the songs you write and the poems you recite to your friend help make it feel less and less like being away from home.
If I knew that I would be tired, I would have stayed. I would have not insisted. So please, I cry, please let me go. Time stands still and it swallows me into deep, and I can see clearly.
Hope is a bone on fire. Before the air simmers the heat and exposes the pain, it is a delayed reaction. Denial dancing on the edge of time, balancing on the possibility of flying if it jumps Icarus, mistaking his father's wings for angel dust. Be cautious. Still waters shimmer the same glistering reflection as broken glass. Look closely before you dive. Most people die before their time because they set their hope on fire and weep when it turns to ashes. We are too old to believe that not everyone will hurt us. But still, we choose to see the end as the beginning. Time swallows everything. Silence says nothing. You fill the gaps with music. Prayers sit at the edge of their seat and wait for faith to return with everything it was sent for. It comes back as cold as the night you sent it. Collapses on the floor and spews out everything you lost on its absence. And as you try to reach for these moments, time licks the dirt and swallows them once more. The indefinite anguish of receiving in the dark. Hope is a distance unreached. Battered feet that archive the history of grief. We are travelers to a land we envision to be better than standing still. We would chase the wind if it freezes, mount our future on fleeting features, skin ourselves and offer it to the fire if they told us burning flesh makes it thicker. Anything to survive ourselves. Subscribe to any delusion that makes it easier for us to believe that time promises more than just the past, that living has a cause beyond our fellow men. Let us give out love, but let us also not deny that sometimes, even to each other, we are not enough. That sometimes, even to each other, we are not enough.
Let me go. Time stands still and it's
Thank you very much to Poetry Africa for having us. This has been a beautiful journey. I'm here with my friends. This is Uwino on the guitar and China on the sound and Black Screen on just the setup and everything. So I really appreciate this. Thank you so much, Poetry Africa, and thank you very much for having us here. This is going to be our final poem, and this one is for the friends.
It is in 9 good times, it is in 9 bad times. My world won't be the same without you next to me. It is in 9 good times, friend, it is in 9 bad times. My world won't be the same without you next to me.
To all my friends, the staying stones, the sounds of thunder and the fear it evokes, the fire in the lightning and the place it had to travel to find my dying embers, I'm deeply indebted to you all for all the love you've chose to show in ways that matter. In songs, in poems, words filled with beautiful letters. I can never claim to know where all this act of kindness comes from, but since it is here, I will try to host it in ways that pay homage to the courage behind it that became like a mirror that holds with clarity the very fibers of my being. I now know with certainty the treasure found in companionship, shoulders that catch you when the wind weighs the weight of your enemies, staggering, but still holding you steady. I pray you see the strength found in those who truly care, who never ask you where you've been, but just welcome you with sweet tea to ward off what else could be following you. Here, your soul is an armor of God. These workers of flesh and spirit we have been given do not receive enough praise for their labors of love, the wages of which are often not enough, my dearest friend. There are things I have been spared from simply because you are here. The angel of death has passed my door more than once because ours is a bond closer to blood. You prayed and it felt like floating above still waters. You could always iron out the tension in my waves by remaining peaceful even in the angriest of storms. So what will become of me when yours is a face I can no longer recall? My friend, you prayed and it felt like floating above still waters. You could always iron out the tension in my waves by remaining peaceful even in the angriest of storm. What will become of me when yours is a face I can no longer recall? Your soul is an armor of God, my dearest friend. There are things I have been spared from simply because you are here. Thank you very much.
Nice. I wanted that sound, to fade it off. It's beautiful. It sounded so beautiful. And just to let you in my space, sometimes I listen to the sound of the ocean, just to calm myself down. So yeah, it reminded me of that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Terry. And it's lovely, to always see, it's lovely to always see the effort that you make. It's heartwarming, in fact. It's heartwarming to see that you really put on an effort. I'm trying to open up the feed. Something happened, but I know that you are able to hear me. So that is the most beautiful thing. Yes. So Tori, I just want to acknowledge that you do make effort. Always when you are having even the virtual performances, we appreciate that so much. So continue doing that. We see you. We see you. Thank you so much, Pumulo, for that, for bringing me to the light. I've got my my vendor head wrap going on, and the fabric that I'm still wondering what am I gonna do with, because of everyone knows my headboard right now, so I just had to cover it up. When we are dreaming, and it is so hard to bring your dream to life sometimes. So one really needs to bring people, to bring their heads together to make sure that we are able to express ourselves in ways we see fit, right? The University of UKZN, University of KwaZulu-Natal, it's housing the Creative Center, the Center for Creative Arts, pardon me. They have been on this partnership for many years, right? And one of the projects they have is Poetry Africa, which is hosting us tonight. And, they have been going on for 24 years. But for this 24th edition, they have brought 2 embassies. And it is just so heartwarming again, to see that people, especially the embassies, they see the worth of also investing within the art space and not only the diplomatic, projects out there. So we just want to acknowledge the Denmark embassy, the American embassy, the Arts and Culture KZN department. So thank you so much. The French Institute in South Africa, Total, thank you so much. Also other partners, like Hear My Voice, like Word and Sound, who have come on board, like Impepo Press, who have also come on board. So that if we are not united, we might be the strongest in the jungle and this proverb talks about, or in idiom talks about, that even if the lions are strong, but if they are not together, even a limping smallest of animals in the jungle can really conquer them. So just want to acknowledge our sponsors and saying continue, because of we are here, because of you definitely have saw fit for us, as Poetry Africa, to have such a platform. The next poet coming tonight, it's a new voice. I mean, the whole set will bring some new voices and, not so new voices to many of you. But I'm excited to bring forth Melcy van Rooyen. And, she's a multilingualist girl. Hey, I'm Shane.
Avuxeni minjhani?
Minjhani van Rooyen va vulavula Xitsonga. Hey.
Na me ndzi pfukile Van Rooyen va vulavula Changani, va vulavula ni Swati, ni Afrikaans, ni English.
Van Rooyen. This shows how diverse South Africa is. And she's a fashion designer. She's multilingual, and she just express herself in the language of her father, who she says the father is an Englishman and born of a beautiful African queen. Melcy van Rooyen, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay. The first poem that I'm going to do tonight is called The Destruction of My Eden. They say that the scholars that know better, they say that knowledge came from Europe. And then they say to us, we are nothing but forgotten. I say, where is my Africa? Where is my beloved Africa? The one that I know, the one that stood tall in times of turmoil, the Africa that stood in times when everyone
Hey, Melcy's camera feed stopped. Hopefully that we can sort that out, right? While she's sorting that out, I'm going to bring another poet. Let's keep it going. The next coming poet, could not be with us, in the live virtual platform, but she made sure that she is part of us by sending out this lovely video. City Ndabezita Usindiswa. Phumulo, may you please play that clip for us?
Isihloko senkondlo engizoyihaya manje sithi ezeni, ngifunda encwadini yami yezinkondlo okuyiqoqo elibizwa ngokuthi Mayine. Ezeni. Mina engaganela ezeni kangilutho ezweni. Ngaqomela ubukhazikhazi bengiyenga ngomqhakazo abanikazi. Ngingumuthi ohlukaniswe nezimpande ngeswele ukuzelapha. Umkhumulansika ungibambise imibimbi. Mina lo engadalelwa ukungagugi ngagana. Ukufa kwami kuseduze phambili. Emuva akubuyeleki. Uyakusabelaphi inkombose kababa, imbokodo ihluleka ukuzimela. Yeka okwakithi ezweni lenala, ngifulathela ngishiya izinxuluma, ngithi ngiyakuphila kahle ngiyazisa. Yeka okwami ngifika ngithoba, ngihlonipha ngokungangamandla, kepha imfudumalo phinde. Maye ngiyakuthini ngabantu bami, loku ngezala ngihlula iqhinga likaSomtsewu, bandele ekudukeni, kabazi ngekithi, ngashada omhlophe qwa, mhla ngizibizela ifu elimnyama. Namuhla isibeletho sami sidungekile. Ngizala izingane ezizigqaja ngolimi okungesilo olwazo. Abantu abami batshelwa ukuthi ababahle. Bheka beziphala mihla le. Umendo wami isiqalekiso. Ngichamisela ngifukamele izitha zami zekusasa. Muva nje uma ngizifuna, angizitholi ngisho emcabangweni noma olimini lwengane emnyama. Ubukwitikwiti nje kubalekelwa mina, mfazi owadayisa ngobuyena ethi uyonethezeka. Ngokuganela entshonalanga, ngayeka izimfundiso zakobantu, ngathumela abantu abami esikoleni. Ngimanxebanxeba eqolo, imfundo ingimba khona, angikwazi ukubaqhuba, lokhu konke okwasemzini kuyakhokhelwa. Namuhla kangazi ngithandaze bani, isihogo engisibaselwa masonto ngiyasesaba, kanti bathi nolaka lwabaphansi alulungile. Uma-ke kunjalo ngididekile, mina engaganela ezeni. Ngiyabonga. Isihloko senkondlo ngizoyihaya manje sithi umsinsi. Ngizoyihaya ngokuphelezelwa ubhuti Mdu wakambuyazi. Ezikhathini eziningi ngihleli eduze nomsinsi buqamama nekithi. Kimi kuzimilela imicabango emqondweni iya ngokugxila kayisiphuki buka la. Kunokwenzeka ukuthi ulwandle saselicasule ngendlela engabekezeleki mhla lusikhafulela abelumbi. Mana kancane lwandle ndalo yakwethu ake sikhulume sixolise. Ake sidabule eyosizi ingubo madoda kakushintshe ithungelwa ebandla. Kwakungenje Zulu zange kwaba nje. Usize sesilibona mihla namalanga esasingalaza kulula ukubuyisela isikhathi emuva kepha ngafisa. Kakusanqakwa zona izingede kepha umdlalo wezingane ucabhayiyana phansi kwezinyembezi zezaguga inhlupheko iyakhathaza. Musani ukwenza sengathi kanazi. Kwadliwa izinkomo zamadoda la. Thina eyethi imfuyo wawungasoze wayibala ebhukini lediphu. Kwakoba ngumshonisalanga njengokubala izinwele ekhanda elingenampandla ungesiye umvelinqangi. Mpisholo thina sitesa namasimu. Yaqhamukaphi imiswenya eyasiqedela isivuno Zulu khuluma. Zikhona izidala ezaqhamuka entshonalanga nobuqili zabelana ngezinto zethu nizibelani sengathi kanazi. Bezingcono izimpi ebesizilwa sizodwa bezixazululwa ziphele. Umphumela wokuba khona kwalabaphuculi, imvula yendlala, inkanankana yesimilo kanye ke nokulahlekelana sisodwa. Kakuselula ukuhlukanisa intshonalanga nathi, kepha Zulu mina ngingeze ngakusola kakhulu. Akulula ukungalandeli lapho umnotho wakho waya ngakhona, ngoba abanye bazikhanyisa izindlebe nje kunokwenzeka ukuthi banethemba lokuthi bangakweba okwebiwa kithi. Yeni-ke kwangathi izihambeli zethu zinesikhathi eside zilapha, kanti izokwakhela ngezinsiba zenye umhlola. Thina isisu somhambi besisazi singengakanani singangenso yenyoni. Pho laba bacwebezela engangemkhomo imigaba sixetshulelwani ngempela sifelani. Umnumzane thizeni waseNgilandi unethezeke emzini kaMnguni. Maye ngabe uhlele esigqikini somnumzane yini? Maye siyaphenduphenduka-ke sakhe omhlophekazi kuhle kwesonto elingasena kunethezeka. Sazobuyela endaweni izinkomishi ezaphambana nani ngaphamba ba. Kuyacaca kanithelwanga induku ekwaluseni. Yithi laba enisafuna sibe yimisila yenu. vulani amehlo simnyama thina singaniqhubula sona lesicathulo senu esesaba nga umsindo la. Ngani ke nifunde ke ukubangula iva ngelinye ke nikhiphe inhlupheko ngonyembezi. Thina singanyomfa engathi besiqasule sisuselwe komalume kuchitheke gula linamasi. Thina besakha imikhonto ubuchule siyabazi. Kwagolide leli asiliqabuki besiliyeka sihlonipha imvelo kaMvelinqangi. Kona kungazwakala sapolitiki ezindlebeni zabathile. Ngiyisakhamuzi esicasukile eqinisweni kanginamuzi. Pho nginandabani ngoba inkululeko yokuzikhulumela. Ngoba sihleli nje kusengasukuma indoda eyodwa la. Isitshele ngoshintsho oluzoqeda usizi ebese isifuna izimali zamakhadi obulunga. Abangahlupheki baziveza njengabahluphekile bethi balwela abahluphekayo. Zulu wawungenje wena ukhona owakona. Kufuzulelwa ukungena emaphalamende bakithi sibuzeleni. Zayaphi izinto zethu ezathathwa la? Lezi zitaladi zike zachelelwa ngegazi lamadoda nabafazi. Kuqhume inhlamvana yosizi mhla abaduka ngobandlululo kungesibona bonke ababuyile. Sawubona khomishana yamaqiniso unjani kade ngakugcina ke sibuyisana. Kwathiwa izikhali kazilahlwe olwandle kepha impi ibukeka ingaphelile. Uthingo lwenkosazana esafaniswa nalo luhle emehlweni kodwa uyazi ekseni. Ngike ngalibunisisa ngifunisisa umbala onjengami kulo ukuthi ukhona yini. Khathi simbe Zulu izikhali zezandla angeke zisisize kukhona impimpi la. Kodwa Zulu omuhle kakhulu, Zulu kamalandela, Zulu welembe. Ake sixoxe izikhali zengqondo singakhohliswa ukubuka kude asisibo thina. Asixoxe umnotho lo ungowethu. Asithandane singacwasani kepha sazi impi ayiphelile. Kuphela isukile ezandleni yanyukela emqondweni ngoba ngiyasola. Kunokwenzeka ukuthi ulwandle saselicasule ngendlela engabekezeleki mhla lusikhafulela abelungu. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga Bhembe, Mashinini, Uliwe, Cindi. Sibonga kakhulu la ukhona, sibonga kakhulu ukuthi ushaye inkondlo ngelimi lesizulu. Sibonga kakhulu. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi uzilethele uBuyazi, uMbonambi lapho. Sibonga kakhulu futhi. You know, when the music, Melcy, please mute. When you bring in this indigenous music sounds, it is just so beautiful. So Tori started off, you know, with the very subtle smooth, you know, and now we're taking it to the indigenous side. It is just so beautiful. We are going to try and bring Melcy back. Let's try that.
Yeah, Mel. Okay, should I start again?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, let me start. All right. Okay. The destruction of my Africa. The scholars say, those that know better, they say that the knowledge that we acquired has come from them. Those that know better from the seas across now. What happened to call my Africa? What happened to the land that gave us honey? What happened to the land that was the feeding of everything? Because Africa was where everything began. I ask myself today, as the scholars that think they know better, say that knowledge came from over the ocean. Yes, I say, What happened? Because as far as I know, the knowledge that we acquired was stolen from my very Timbuktu, from the Egypt above, down to the Cape. I ask myself again, what happened to the Eden that was so beautiful? Now we cry out loud in agony, in pain, and we are being told to tell lies about where we come from. I ask myself again, why have we let ourselves down? Why have we let ourselves be subdued to what the Westerns are telling us to do when our very own Africa was the Eden of the world? We are the diamond that shone when there was no light. We were the light that was the light when everything was dark. For Africa is the green light of everything, the light of the world. Yes, they say those that know better from over the ocean that Eden is nothing, that Africa is nothing, that Africa is dead. No, the Africa that I know is not dead. The Africa that I knew is not dead because Africa is where life began. Africa is where everything started. So today I say, to those that think they know better, my homeland is where Eden is. Thank you. Second poem. Sing to the heavens, breathe to the sky, allow the wind in my skin, for the wind is calling, calling together for unity through the pain of the world. Shed a light to the sky and shed a tear for the lost ones. We cried loud in our darkest hour, but hope is not lost. In our darkest hour, we hold each other together. For when the enemy came, we said we shall stand together as one. Today we cry, but we do not cry out loud because of the wars and what's going on. We cry because those that helped us during the times when we needed help were there to rescue us and take us in as refugees when the world was oppressing us. But today, my brothers, who I call brothers and sisters, are the very ones that are killing the youth of today. What is going to happen when the youth is being destroyed? Because the very own that held us during our times when we needed to be held together are now the ones that are destroying the very youth that is the leaders of tomorrow. And they're not doing it by blood or shooting with guns. They are selling drugs to the kids that are going to be the future leaders of tomorrow. I do not cry out xenophobia. I cry out to those that are killing the nations of today. So, what is happening to my fellow brothers and sisters? What happened to the unity we had when everything was all gone? For the very ones that kept us close and held us together are but the ones that are destroying our South Africa, my homeland, my Azania today. Mothers are left without children. Children are left motherless. Fathers are left without children because my Azania today is being destroyed by the very ones that stood together with us when we were fighting oppression. It is not a war of guns, but the blood has been spilled and the road that we're traveling is red with blood. Her soul is blood of innocent children, blood of those that were supposed to keep those that are dying safe. So today I cry out loud because my Africa is bleeding and the blood that is crying out is soiling in the ground below. And then my Africa, my hope. From the hearts of bees to the Zulu hearts like hives, From the great mountains of Kilimanjaro to the cape below, across the slopes of green grass, I smell the calabash of sour milk welcoming me home, my Africa, my homeland. Through changes of time, you have remained true, my Africa, my homeland, my indigenous land, my mother and my father, the voices that soothe my soul, the cries of those who dwell in it, my Africa, my homeland. Through changes of time, you have remained true. Your beauty seen across the horizon. Other nations have marveled at your beauty and your people. From the from the coast of Dakar to the middlelands of Congo, from the Egyptians above to the coast below. We cry, but I say, my beautiful Africa, you are my love, my hope, my home, my pride, my Africa. That is all that I have. I don't know if my 10 minutes has passed or should I add another one?
Well, that is all you got. Thank you so much.
I can add another one.
Add another one.
Okay, sure. Okay, okay. All right. Scribble in parchments of leather on papers. But ink and feather for the sun has shut down. I'm in total darkness. This road that I'm traveling is not familiar, yet I feel as if I've walked it before. Lay down your papers and pens. Lay down the segregation of color. The war I'm in is one of all and all for one. Light my path with hope. Scatter my heart with faith. Surround my heart with love. Hope is not lost. For in our darkest hours, the candle inside still burns alive. We cry out loud in our darkest hours. For my hope have been shattered, my dreams all broken, but yet I stand up tall, tall as a mountain. For the candle that shines through us all is the one that is holding us together in this time that we are all struggling to find out what is going on. What has happened? What is it?
The network is cutting. The network is cutting. Thank you so much for your set today. The network is a bit choppy. Thank you so much. And I guess what also Mels is telling us is saying, you know, we must just keep on being resilient. And you should remember that today we are bringing on the new voices. We are bringing on the new voices. And another voice, not so new, it is Uhector Kunene. He has been in the industry for a while. And what I love about him is that once he saw that his work was published in Sunday Times, then he was like, okay, maybe I can do this, right? Sometimes you just need that nudge, you know, to see a glimpse of light, to see that, you know what, okay, I got this in the newspaper. Then he continued. He was 16 years old when he started. And and also, you know, when one starts writing in English and then they switch to their indigenous language, it is just so beautiful. Like Melcy, you know, whether we're having a conversation, to some of you who don't know, the language that we were speaking is one of the 11 official languages. It's called Tsonga. And you find most of the Tsonga speaking people in the northern side of South Africa. So, and also, but you know, she comes from Mpumalanga, so I guess we are spreading out like that. It's beautiful. Hector has a number of books out and a number of collaborations books out, and it is just so lovely. You know, his stage presence is amazing. And let me hype him up because I know he's gonna bring the A game. Help me welcome Umtimande. Help me welcome Umadonsela. Ukayete Umgosa. Lubambo lunye Hector Kunene.
Gengu. Himbongi abantu isikhopa siqala isibhala umlando kamadidi ingqondo ikhuza umlilo intombi ilahle emlenze ngikhothi ithanga ngithi khopho phemtimande ngithi habe shit habe Gia, kona kamtimande Biga, Gobigo, uthi hebo, hindima, uyidlaleleke pha eyami impi namhlanje, heyani, ngibuzisisa, ngigudluza, ngizifuna, ngizifumana, ngikhulume, ngikhetha amagama, hanobuhlakani, ngikupezele imicabango yami, ngesimo sami, nginike ithuba nendlebende, nginisikele ububende, ngiqale ngoqumbu waqeda amaqanda, ngiqale ngeqanda lokuqala, maqede ngiqondo qotsheni, ngiqaba amaqatha amaqili, baqale baqomane, baqabulane baqedane, baqoqe ngomqemane, ngicule inqonqonqo molweni kamadlingozi, ngisho ngibaqeda ngobongqondongqondo. Sanibonani. Thank you so much, Poetry Africa, and greetings to the masses, families at home. I know that you're watching. Thank you for the support, and of course, responding to the social change. Athol Williams wrote and read a poem yesterday, which actually inspired this piece that I want to share. So the question that I'm asking is, if women are still being raped, who is making the laws? And if it is the man who is making the laws and men are judging, why are men judging raped bodies? Because men are not raped, but it is women that are raped. So that's the question that I'd love to leave you with. And this piece is called Vanished Dockets. There is blood on the floor where an animal called she was slaughtered. Her undies are hung upon a pole. They will behold her neck high after he comes. We have duplicated ourselves in their bodies. There is nothing the government can do because he is doing it too. See the fires. See these files that are called dockets. They are written in stanzas, packed in trash bins. We can afford a docket more than a condom, an African conundrum. We use female bodies as reported crime scenes. We have designated corners where women can't walk alone, silenced by fingers of masculinity. Raping is our culture, and prison is our tourism attraction, where erections are laid to rest through another culture on the same gender. What a blunder of a sin so demonic, only to be defined as just another pandemic. We are sons whose devil wonders who fathered us. Who fathered us? We keep astonishing the female species. Even the daughters we birth, we devour the fruit. It's our trees after all. We twist things like a python twisting a carcass. Even the court of law is run by men who understand that we are the victims. No wonder the question they ask you, what were you wearing? Forgetting that a newborn doesn't even own a miniskirt. Understand it from my point, magistrate. She was walking on the wrong spot at the wrong time in the wrong garment, and thus victimizing my eyes. And there was blood on the floor, Mr. Magistrate, where an animal called she was slaughtered. Her undies hung upon a pole that held her neck high, and he came, and the docket vanished into thin air, and the case was closed. And the next piece I'm going to share with you is called Unmask Your Face. Unmask your face. I can hear the footsteps going. And I can see the rain drops. Gelling into a melody of tunes and splitting the ends of misfortunes. Injustice practices peeled to reveal the core diseases to finally heal the broken-hearted, restored and abundant, reluctant images painted like the coffin mating with the sand, the fingerprints in those hands that play in this band, characterizing the full potential of the winds of change that we see with our eyes but fear to realize. Thus you must unmask your face. This case is yet to discover the base in which your race is intertwined, endorsed and paused, that says life, you can't escape your calling. It is morning from the deep. The cries, the voices defies, the neglected and rejected purples have the binocular vision to see the drawback, for you can't parade the ship that has no captain to avoid the iceberg, or else the Titanic should not cause panic. Unmask your face and place your bet on slowest horse that knows the road that leads to victory instead of stallions that leads to destruction. Watch whose back your bums are stacked, for loins are packed with seeds intact. Aborted ideas increase poverty, eliminate postponing, for season has come. This land, it is fertile, yet awaits your seed until it hits the ground and dies. Your fate is sealed in your palms, that lies the core idea to eliminate the hunger. Aye, the tear you drop can grow the crop to stop the need that feed the greed. Unmask your face and redefine the pace of this race. Nisapula. Nisapula. Moya utule. Utitu. Nisapula. Moya utule. Utish. We form a cloud on the sky, hit a note high, by storm we fly, run by, never try, for the vision of this mission affecting this nation. Ray, making generation. Re, nisapula, moya utule, utitu. Re, nisapula, moya utule, utish. Become a rainmaker of your generation, young and old, hairy and bold. We discover stories untold. It's either you're hot or cold. Re, nisapula, moya utule, utitu. Re, nisapula, moya utule, utish. Buddha! Haine! Thank you so much.
Kulana lamadonzela siyabonga kunene. Thank you so much. There's an interesting way that you playing with sounds there. Quite interesting. Moving along, I think I'm not doing bad on time, so I'm happy about that. Coming up next, we started with the slam champion, and now we are moving to another slam champion, Masai Sipuru. Masai is one of those guys, but you know, Masai and Xabiso must just leave other children. I know that Xabiso is watching. He probably is the biggest fan most of Poetry Africa now. But yes, he would hold one of two biggest slams in the country titles at the same time, and that was unheard of. And that's why he's one of the new voices, you know, and as part of the Poetry Africa 24th edition. He is a visual artist, and he is a stage designer, a director, performer, a poet, and he has performed at a number of spaces, including the likes of New Sweden and the likes. But also as King of the Mic, you know, why, you know, why holds these titles, you know, and act all subtle? Well, Speak Child in 2018, he scooped that award. The Word and Sound also in 2018 scooped that award. And this one is Speak Out Loud in 2018 and 2019. And now he's going to add 2020 because of Speak Out Loud hasn't happened yet. And he's still the reigning champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome another slam champion for tonight's lineup, Masai Sikuru, and I know that he's not wearing his shoes. Welcome on the virtual streets of Poetry Africa, brother. Your mic is muted, the most abused phrase. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Damn it, now I'm part of the statistics. Thank you for having me. Yeah. The poems I'm bound to recite are dedicated to my hometown, Mahofe, where I grew up. Yeah. It is 3 a.m. It's dark, it's cold, it's unforgiving. Tonight, even the witches have snugged in. The moon is tugged behind murky clouds. The wind outside is howling like the starving pack of wolves waiting for their prey. The shack is rattling, wrestling, waiting, fighting to stay intact. Nothing about this scenery is flattering. Nothing about this is inviting, nothing yet. There was my uncle, up already polishing his shoes. His jacket is hanging on a chair like an armor. The paraffin stove is warming up his breakfast. Last night leftover, or whatever is left from it. The candle is at the corner, fighting, losing battle with the wind creeping through the openings of the shack. He must leave now if he hopes to catch the first bus. This giant of a man, a body that rivals mountain, a security guard at a hotel that he cannot afford to stay in. But that doesn't bother him. He's building his own house outside. His shift starts at 6. He must leave at 3:30 if he hopes to catch the first bus and the first train. The metro rail is slow, unbothered, and it has the tendency of just stopping just because. So to arrive at work, he must leave immediately. He must leave before the sunrise. Sometimes he returns when the sun is asleep. As long as he ate, he consoled himself. Tonight it is so cold that even the sun is hesitant to come up. From a distance, he can hear the bus approaching. He puts on his shoes, then his armor, then finally puts the candle out of his misery. As he's about to embark on his own, he approaches the door, opens it slowly, carefully, as not to wake his wife and children, whispers a little prayer to whatever God is listening to protect his family. The wind welcomes him with a kiss as the night embraces him. Oh, now he has done it. He must go through with it. There is no turning back. The darkness swallows him instantly, completely, as he disappears into the gloom. The only evidence of him is the amber of his cigarette, and his silhouette as it passes through under the dim light of the Apollo streetlight. He can barely see his own hands, so he buries them deep in his pockets, to wind wherever mind you can find. Anyone can get lost in this darkness, but he knows these streets very well, and they know him too during daytime. But this is nighttime, and he must adapt, so he walks sideways like a crab to mimic the wandering lost spirits, boys by day and shadows by night. He hears a whistling, echoing, calling each other from whatever direction they might be hiding from. This is not good. This is never a good omen. He cannot hear from which direction they're coming from. His heart starts to race as he begins to pick up pace. almost there. The bus stop is only a few streets away. His pride will not let him run. But at least he whispers a prayer. The whistling gets louder and louder and closer, and he can hear footsteps running behind him. He clenches his fist and locks his teeth. His temperature rises despite the weather. 4 or maybe 5 figures surround him, appearing seemingly out of nowhere. Bang! As a sound of metal hitting against another. Yes, when I'm his teeth are still locked. He can't seem to open his door. One man throws a right, and my uncle finds himself on the ground. Two grab him by his feet and hold him on the ground, whilst my uncle has not made a sound. They reach into his pocket and find a wallet with 11 pence and a bus fare and a picture of his family. Out of anger, one man tears it and spits on his face. Something in my uncle's breaks. He explodes, and finally his jaw separates. Bait escaped through his mouth. The ground pushes him up, and his giant arms wrap around the boy's neck and snaps, breaks instantly. His friends try to separate them, but it's a little too late. My uncle has not yet grasped what he has done. In fact, he wasn't done. He turned his attention onto other ones, swinging and screaming, only to be silenced with a bang. The sound of a gun ripples through the township. As the boys run, he lies on the ground next to a dead body and the torn pictures of his family as he draws his last breath. This is how my uncle did not make it to work the other day. The next piece, also about Mahofe. Mahofe is where I'm from. Yeah. Shout out to Raymond. I remember Mahofe. Most of you have never heard of this place between the townships of Sishiru and the villages of Mulej. We settled there with our shacks. We built our home out of anything. A cardboard here, a street sign there, newspapers to cover the holes. We built our home. I remember how we danced, regardless, despite, even though we danced anyways. I remember Cedric, my neighbor. I could tell you about his ways, about how we all feared him, how prison was his second home, and every time he would return with a scar on his face, we whispered stories about how many men he might have killed. This could easily be a story about gangsters we call uncles, but instead, this is about dancing, and man, he danced. He would take out speakers, which we call a gram, and he would place them at the gate for all to witness. If he could play them any louder, Lord have mercy on mothers with sleeping babies. His taste was regained. He would dance shirtless with his chest exposed like a guitar, rips or strings. He danced with his hand covering his head as though he's dodging bullets. In one hand, he held a bottle, dancing like his lover. With every kiss, she weakened his knees and he would fall for her over and over again. I remember Paul and Judith, front opposite. I could tell you about how some mornings her bruises painted last night's screams vividly, and how Paul is in prison before he stabbed him again. I could tell you about lovers that fight each other yet still find their way into each other's arms. This could be easily a story about lovers that kiss with their teeth. About dancing. Men, they danced. They danced as though they bowed each other bones, but the skeleton could fit in the skin. You should have seen them adjust each other, held each other like eggs. Eggs that would later scramble. But right now, they're dance partners. And Gongo Martin starts Buku and these two tornadoes into whirlwinds. I remember Braova, an old timer. The 80s were a person, a short, bald-headed man, just with a brain too big for his size, shoes so shiny the sun did not look at him. He spoke Afrikaans fluently Malaiti. That's why his bars gave him this. That's why his bars gave him that. That's why his bars gave him new Toyota Skylines. Rumors by jealous men who did not ask him personally. Rumors that did not bother Baupa, especially when he was dancing. He fancied jazz. He danced like he had ants in his pants, a puppet of his own feet. You should have seen him slither across the room, moved like something was pulling him. And when the keys came, he danced with his fingers like he knew the pianist personally, like they went to the same school together, like he helped to write the notes. I remember Auntie Selena, corner house. I could tell you how she never stopped waiting for her husband to return from exile, and how she refused to accept that he's the price we paid for this democracy. how she cleaned her house every Sunday, spotless, hoping that maybe, but instead, this is about her dance move, and she would move slowly. As Eddie's only introduced the next song, the Manhattan, then the Celine Dion, she moved slowly, patiently, as though the hands of time. She would not admit it, but we all knew that she misses him. I remember New Year's Eve. I could tell you about how we only had 100 shooters and a box of black spiders, and all the fancy fireworks lit up, and such wonders did not belong in this part of the country. But we had wonders of our own. You should have seen us dance. We danced to Brenda Fast. We didn't care who was watching. Nobody was watching. We ran into what walls? There were no walls. We even ran into Auntie Selena's house for the first time. And Praoba would hoot his talent like it belonged to another man. And Cedric, well, he was still dancing with his lover. I remember how we danced. Wait. The next poem is based off of a stereotype that goes around about people from Limpopo, people from the north. So they try to make fun of us. So I took a spin on it. It's called Black Alchemy. I come from a place where lightning can be sold in a teacup. High grade shit. You may laugh at such skills, to bend the elements at will, to be this intimate with nature. I know of a queen when she dances, clouds gather to watch. Rain is but a few moves away. We meet the skies, our highways, sway winds to do our bidding. We speak the language of fire. We can convince eyes to burn, to glow as though amber, twist and turn. We dance with vocals. Ancient vocal symbols are carved into our sin old men on with trees, persuading them the bitter nectar of forest fruits, the medicine and fibers of buried fruits, hidden truths, common knowledge and superstitions, ignored premonitions. Our bodies are not limited to this form. We transform when we perform, dancing in uniform innocent. How is it witchcraft when it's black? We are guilty until proven innocent. In parts of foreign laws, you have lost sight, left behind old women with foresight, for hyped preachers who profit on artificial light. How dare you call my ancestors demons? Tell me, whose tongue are you praying in? Whose bones are holding you steady? Whose shade is shading you from the sun? Whose crown are you wearing, I wonder? Why doesn't your religion allow sage? What could they be trying to tell you? You have abandoned everything, ignored your callings, but we are still connected, correct, still drinking from sacred waters. And our cups runneth over. You can dark about our art is our skin. Hey, babuile. Batumi babuile. Babuile. Vakile linama, vakile linama. Nasiri shavakanama, rishabakanama. Keritala unyile, tala unyile. Hey, babuile. Batumi babuile. Babuile. Vakile linama, vakile linama. Nasiri shavakanama, rishabakanama. Keritala unyile, tala unyile. Hey, babuile. Batsumi babuile, babuile, bakile linama, bakile linama. Nasiri shevakanama, rishevakanama. Kereta laonyile, talaonyile. Where I'm from, there is no beach to go to. Just propagated shelters resembling a shipwreck. A bay of a city, away into the ocean. Where our parents go fishing with nothing but hope as bait to wrestle with loan sharks, only to be turned at shore. Rest assured that tomorrow is another day to avoid drowning in debt. Today is Monday, and in her fishing net for a handbag, my grandmother has caught madam's hand-me-downs, in her weekend leftovers of mince and potatoes and cooked sisters, all packed in a stock margarine 15, because They don't care if their dinner is mixed with dessert, Marilyn. For the longest time, I understood the relationship between me and these great whites, and I've almost become immune to their vibe. But not once I thought my people would try to drown me. When did we grow gills? When did we start preferring the ocean to land? My grandmother has never been seasick, but she's sick of the sea. It has stolen her children. It has stolen Matumi. Where are you, Matumi? When last did you visit land, Matumi? They've made an octopus out of you. Where is your backbone, Matumi? Why are you hiding, Matumi? Your children can't speak to their grandmother. Why are they calling you Matt Matumi? You are lost at sea. You're not middle class. You're center ocean drowning in debt. Get out of your current situation. The tides have held you hostage. The land misses its children. We have built the lighthouses, but the waves keep knocking them down. Let's talk about what the ocean has actually done for Black people, how they dumped ships thinking it will split open for them. Like it did for the Jews in Egypt. So maybe the whales will swallow them whole and return them home. Or perhaps it will allow them to walk on it. But it drowned them instead. How come ocean miracles only happen to Bible characters? The story is fiction. Or is our skin too dark for its mercy? Are our names too hard to pronounce? What has the ocean actually done for us? Except to bring colonizers at our shores. I have never been to the beach. My mother has never been to the beach, but we're still casualties of its rage. When hurricanes could not beat us in the deep land, it sent white people instead. It made sure that we knew of its existence. It hypnotized rich to erode us its way, but we still resisted its charms. With bricks and tires on our shacks and wires tied to stone anchoring our homes, the ocean refused to leave us alone. Its color reminds me of a dry sky of Monday. Its color reminds me of the colonizer's eyes. I do not live next to the beach and I couldn't be more pleased. I never liked the idea of living next to a graveyard. My grandmother always warns me about painting at graves. She said it brings bad luck. But some people go as far as take a swim in it, baptizing it as an attempt to rid themselves of sins. But do not visit their great parents' gravesite. What kind of a devil standard bullshit is that? Why do you love the ocean so much? Today's vastness will leave you overwhelmed. It will make you feel small, insignificant. It can drown you and kill you. And white people love it. Isn't that how one would describe apartheid? The ocean is a metaphor for white supremacy. It comes uninvited. It consumes land, but we still visit it and take pictures on its sands. Like how we take pictures with our white friends and brag about how we have made it. Oh my God, you have never been to the beach. Oh my God, you cannot swim. Oh my God, you cannot speak English properly. No, I just chose not to drown my tongue at sea. The ocean has already took so much from me. I refuse to offer myself as well. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you so much. It's been
Babuyile, babuyile, babuyile batsumi, babuyile, dala unyile, babuyile. Ow! Ba re sešego se botse bošego wena. Oh, King of the North. Masai making the pots there, and the fans are going crazy on the virtual streets. Wherever you are watching, remember to like the pages. Remember just to show some love to the poets. It takes so much courage to come and write and come and then and perform the work. It is a job and a half, and we love it. We love it when poets explode, and that we just to gaze in their work just like that. And just a quick reminder that Poetry Africa 2020 virtual edition, it is made possible by UKZN, CCA, which is the Center of Creative Arts House at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, USA Embassy, the KZNDAC, IFAS, Total Windy Brow Art Center, which is the fourth leg of the Market Theatre, and Hear My Voice. We just want to say thank you for making sure that this actually happens. Let's show some love. We really appreciate them. There are just so many festivals that didn't happen, and probably one of those reasons is because there was no resources to make it happen. So thank you so much. The last poet for tonight, as we are wrapping it up, like, oh my God, I'm glad that our paths are crossing. Her name is Munewa, is Maneo. What am I saying? Is Maneo, and I love the name. You know, hopefully that we can just chat around that some other time. Maneo Mohale, she's an editor, and just to start there, she's editing the second book of Koleka Putuma, right? So now you know what a powerhouse she is, a feminist, a writer, a poet, and her work has appeared in various local and international publications, most notably at the Beach Media, where she was the 2016 Global Feminism Writing Fellow. Hey, and tonight she is here with us, and I know that she preferred is they. So help me welcome Munewa Mohale on Poetry Africa virtual stage. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Before I even get into anything, I want to raise my hands and thank Tori and Melcy and Sindisa and Hector and Masai. It's just been such a privilege sitting and listening to your work. So thank you so much for that. I won't keep anyone for too long because I also realize that we are running quite late, but I'll share 3 poems with you. Okay. The first one is called Little Monarch. I finally burned the vinyl that you gave me, posted across the oceans like a simmering letter. I watched the plastic twist, black bent like light near the edge of a singularity. I hate the sleeve. How it mirrors the little monarch glazing the cover of your favorite book. The fire is a jeweled feast, more wet splatter than bonfire. I'm thinking about empire, how ineffectual arrows are, how gunpowder is also prayer. They say that the missionary's body was pierced on the beach, now drawn by rope across the sand. I wonder at the sound. Maybe a child's wired wheels on tar. I'm thinking about how untouched island reveals who touches and who can be touched. I'm thinking about how bodies like mine are tribes, but only on paper. I'm thinking about my own untouching, how I ate my eyes in the dark, how you unclenched my fists like gunpowdered prayer. I was a quiet territory, walking. I was a delicious border, inconveniently occupied, perennious, but cuter, brown, and boundaried by reservation. Tonight, I teach my body a solitary music. Salted, warm as cumin, baptized in silence, my feet are blooded and swollen with safety, grateful now for your lesson, crowned in trauma. The next one that I want to read is called Dephilia Gray, and it contains 4 lines by my love Kopana Maroja. At second session, I hold a glass plate in my hands, translucent and gold as the Chokama, ornamental as apology. Its mass reminds me of my own grief and how it is still too sharp to swallow. My first therapist is calm and white. She wears green to taunt me, so I break her plate. Barely blinking, she unwraps a parcel and offers it to me instead of anger. Since how taxonomy is both sanctum and shield, she gives me 4 words for what happened in the night room. Tell me where I can put you down, like this in shards and fragments. Give me the page that will bind your sin in ink and amber. Add this to your extended list of reparations. I intend to collect everything I am owed. This scarred stomach is testimony, and this grammar is a set of relationships between structures of language at the eye level of every sentence. They will bear witness. I know what it means to be time's own unshattering. I've written the sky from midnight to dawn in close pursuit of an exorcism, only to summon the smoke of my own shame. This shouldn't surprise me as much. I'm writing in English. In the beginning, I hand my therapist bids to protect you and handfuls of my own teeth. You knew not what you did. You were led by the wrist across a border. You were jealous of the man sleeping in my heart's watchtower, and I deceived you and carried you all the way till morning into the night room with the poison candy floss of my charm. Of course it was my fault. My therapist watches me break myself with the same calm. I am less fragile than her gold water plate, but I break with the same spectacular sound. I am made of something more precious than glass. I am looking for words now, and I am tired. The last one is called The Night Room. Tell me about the femme with the upended gender, the one on the edge of a trigger. This night asks her to leave, and now she does. This night she wears a shirt and becomes another. This night she eats a mango and forgets. This night she joins a chorus and feels uneasy. This night she finds a bridge and writes, "Me too." This night she eats their curry and hides their clothes. This night is doused in beer, then in gin. This night she freezes up and lets them rage. This night she kisses them and sleeps unnightmared. This night she doubts decision and builds a box. This night she watches curiosity kill a cool cat. This night she joins the women refusing to dance. This night she reaches nakedly, revels at sound. This night she leaves the current that spits her out. This night the room is empty and made of nectar. This night is withered blossom now, is open. Thank you so much for having me.
And this night was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The work that you have been doing and that now is coming to light, Maneo, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. And people on Facebook, they are saying, "Oh, agasemhle." They are appreciating the beauty. So thank you so much. It has been a lovely night. We are blessed to be able to experience this night, to be experiencing also that life element. And thank you so much to Poetry Africa for making the decision to broadcast some of this some of this episodes live. You know, that touch is important. And yeah, we appreciate that so much. And you know, there's a saying when you attend a funeral and they're about to close, and the MC would say, "If we have stepped on anyone's cons, we apologize." And the person who thinks that I've stepped on the concerts will definitely know. But yeah, it has been lovely. Thank you so much. And remember that throughout the week, 7 p.m., there is a feature evening of poetry. Make sure that you check it out. Revisit the Poetry Africa lineup because of it is just so amazing. You know, and continue to use the hashtag Poetry Africa 2020. And I saw hashtag poetry for social change. So let's do that, you know. Let's make poetry trend, guys. You know, we are regarded as the stepchildren in the squatter camps of the literature umbrella. So let's trend one. Right, I get. But we are closing off with the music feature, and it is just so nice. So also again, to Puerto Africa for bringing the music in, because some of these things, they could have said, nah, we are not bringing that one. Let's bring this one. But they brought out the music for us. So thank you so much to Ugumete for bringing forth this beautiful rendition. So until next time, make sure that you buy a poet's book, you support a poet, and yeah, it has been lovely to be on the Poetry Africa virtual stage. Have a lovely night. I'm out.
Amantombazana nangapha bizu Mr. Lava man afuna ama-coins namhlanje ngizophekeja abafuna ukhama nami amantombazana neso amantombazana afuna ukudla imali yami kodwa mina ngiyamthanda uhlengiwe mawe. When I say you were my, thank you were my. When I say you were, when I say you were my, when I say you were, shut down in my lobola. Say you were, when I say you were my, when I say you were, shut down in my lobola. Say you were. Noma bengazama ukungihlukanisa nawe mina ngiyakuthanda mina ngimshiyile ududu mina ngibuyela kuwe my love ungihlusha inhliziyo umuntu akalahla ngisakuthanda mina umuntu akalahla ungisakuthanda mina when I say you were my. When I say you were, I want to say you were my. When I say you were, shut down in my lobola. Say you were. When I say you were my, sing you were my. When I say you were my, sing you were my. When I say you were my. Masukubake ileo tina, ngaipalela. Enye intokazi njengengisho ngegama engangiyithanda kakhulu ethi I like hearing your voice over the phone, seeing your face in the morning, to know you're okay when I'm gone. You don't have to make any impression. I like hearing your voice over the phone, seeing your face in the morning, to know you're okay when I'm gone. You don't have to make any impressions, 'cause the mazana iyo lendela engikthanda ngayo. Tambazana iyo lendela engikthanda ngayo. Ngisazokhipha baby ngifisa ujabule njalo noma yaphi eyami inhliziyo ngeyakho. So keep up, baby. Get this jamale jalo. No more yapi. Hey, I'm in easy, oh, yeah, custom bazana iyo lendela anytime na yo. 'cause Dombazana iyo Lendela anytime nangayo Uhlala usemsebenzini preoccupied and you don't reply. You never reply to me. Manje getting Manje getting Uhlala usemsebenzini preoccupied and you don't reply. You never reply to me. Masuti manje ngenzenya. Yeah. Manje ngenzenya ni. Sababa Dombazana iyo.